Welcome to Chesapeake Treasure. I'm Chesapeake Bay Maritime Museum's Chief Curator Pete Lesher, and today I would like to talk about our latest exhibit, Kent's Carvers and Clubs. Kent as in Kent County, Maryland. And we are looking at a gunning tradition from the Upper Eastern Shore of Maryland. Among those carvers that we feature in this new exhibit is Charlie Joyner, also known as Speed Joyner, of Chestertown, Maryland. He actually grew up in Betterton, born there in 1921. And like most boys growing up on the Upper Eastern Shore in that sort of rural area, he grew up hunting. He eventually got into making some decoys, started with some silhouettes, and he learned to paint them, got some tips from painting them, from the very famous Havre de Grace decoy carver, Madison Mitchell. Eventually he worked for Madison Mitchell part-time and would help Madison Mitchell make the bodies, do the painting. He did all these things until his decoys became, in Mitchell's view, almost indistinguishable from his teacher's own. And indeed, if we look at a number of Charlie Joyner's decoys, they do look remarkably like Madison Mitchell's decoys that were made actually on a duplicating lathe, many of them in later years. But Madison Mitchell was not the only influence on him. He sought out other famed carvers of his day, including the Ward brothers of Crisfield. Now, the Ward brothers made decoys in a Crisfield style, a very different style from the Upper Bay, with flat bottoms, not rounded bottoms, a fatter body, and actually quite a variety of head shapes. And on the far left over here, we have a golden-eye decoy that is carved by Charlie Joyner, but in the style of the Ward brothers. So he's influenced by Madison Mitchell and by the Ward brothers, this local boy from Chestertown, who in his own right became one of the Chesapeake's celebrated decoy carvers. We see his influence, the influence on him from carvers in two other regions of the Chesapeake. Like many other carvers of his day, he made mostly canvasbacks, but a variety of different species of decoys for hunting. And he made miniatures, not for hunting, simply for decoration, for gifts to friends, and eventually for sale as well. He did sell his decoys, although he didn't generally run his own retail operation. So his sign was really just for when he went to shows and such. But it does show his signature, which he added underneath on the bottoms of many of his decoys, particularly in his later years. And in it, if you take a close look, the C is formed as a duck's head. It became sort of his little mark in his signature that he started doing about 1970. I'd like to introduce one more element of Charlie Joyner's work to you. Charlie Joyner made a model of a sink box as a sort of setting for a number of his miniature decoys. This is actually part of our permanent exhibit just around the corner from the new Kent's Carvers and Clubs special exhibit. And in it, this is sort of comparable to what I would call a sailor-made model. It's not a precise scale model. It's not absolutely proportional in all of its details, but in all of it's not completely proportional, but all the details are exactly right. He knew these boats, even though sink boxes had been outlawed as a gunning method in Maryland and actually nationally in 1935 when he was just 14 years old. Still, it was something that he would have known from his youth when he made this model, maybe around 1970 or so. And we see it populated with a large number of his miniature decoys and miniature sink box decoys, flat bottom decoys that were made to sit on the surface of the sink box, some of which would have been made in wood, some of which would have been cast in iron and weighted that sink box down into the water. This is a wonderful little model that has been part of our waterfowling exhibition for longer than I've been part of the museum, and it's got this wonderful tie to our new Kent's Carvers and Clubs special exhibit. So please join us. Please come by and visit and take a look at the new exhibition, but also a second look at this sink box model that you may not have caught your attention before, that has this interesting connection. It was given to the museum by another Chestertown boy, Charlie Joyner, having been from Chestertown most of his career, but Dr. Harry Walsh, who was one of the museum's early donors, helped to collect a lot of the materials for the waterfowling exhibition, including this Charlie Joyner sink box model. Thank you for joining me this week for Chesapeake Treasure.